Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me tonight. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a nest. We're going to be doing finger painting style with our fingers. Hopefully it should be fun, easy, very beginner-friendly project. I've got my husband Mark with me today.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to be manning chat, so if you've got questions during the live show, you can post those in the chat while we're working. Let's get started. Okay, so this is an example of one of my more detailed pieces. We're not going to be quite this realistic looking, obviously, with our fingers, but I did want to have an example to show you. We're going to try to get some of this shading going on, and I wanted to show it to you too in case you want to do something special with your background. I covered this one with paper, and I have a tutorial. It is the Bluebird tutorial. So if you Google Angela Anderson Bluebird, this one will pop up, and I show how to do this book background using photocopied book pages. So in this one I tore into strips, and you can kind of see the strips there in the light when you turn it just the right way, and just put them on with some matte medium. And so that's an option for your background. I just wanted to show that to you just in case you wanted to do something a little bit different with it. So I'm going to do it on a smaller canvas panel. This is an 8 by 8 inch panel, and you can do, there's a product called Art Guard that you can use on your hands. I've done one other finger painting project, and I used this, and it works really well, but I decided to go ahead and use gloves tonight. So really, whatever you want to do, but you definitely want to protect your hands. Now,
I noticed that you didn't wet your hand first this time and try to put it on.
No, that's true. I did that last time, didn't I?
So pro tip, make sure your hand is dry.
Yes, yeah. Works a lot better.
Easier.
And then besides our fingers, we probably want a toothbrush and maybe a large sponge or a foam brush or just a large brush to do some of this background. Just to make it a little bit faster. You can even use a paper towel. But I'm just going to go ahead and use a large sponge. And let's go over our palette really quick. I've got titanium white, unbleached titanium. This is a color called Naples Yellow Hue. This is yellow oxide, raw sienna, burnt umber, and carbon black. So you can just kind of see I've got a variety of earth tone browns. Really, you can use whatever kind of colors you have. If you don't have all of these, that's okay. You can kind of mix up something similar to this with the yellow oxide and the unbleached titanium. Maybe a little bit of the cad yellow medium. This is cad yellow medium. This is yellow, or phthalo green yellow shade, and teal, and phthalo blue green shade. And you can mix the teal with these two colors plus white. So all these colors are pretty much mixable. All right, so I'm just going to start out by grabbing a scoop of this teal and putting it in my corners here. And I'm going to grab some white. And put that in there too. And then I'm just going to use this and just smush it around. And I don't need to get it in the middle part. The middle part's going to be brown, but I do want to kind of get this kind of worked in. It works really fast if you use a little sponge like this. So there we go. Just like that. All right, and then I'm going to turn it over and grab some burnt umber. And I'm going to use burnt umber in the middle here. And just put that on and kind of do kind of a rough circle shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of softly blend those edges a little bit just by doing kind of circles. Want the solid color in the middle, but along these edges we want them a little bit softer. So I'm just going to kind of rub it into that wet teal color.
Okay, got a question.
Yes.
Is the sponge damp or wet?
It was damp, yes, thank you. Yeah,
okay.
Good question. Then I'm going to use my finger and just kind of blend out that edge a little bit. Yes, the sponge was just slightly damp. You don't want it super wet because it'll, get soggy and kind of...
And it was soaked in vodka? Or just water?
Just water.
Just water, okay. All right. Well, you got to clarify, just make sure.
True. Okay, so I want it nice and dark there in the center, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of black on my finger And just go ahead and rub in a little bit of that black, even just right in that middle part where we want it darkest. Okay, so we've got kind of almost a bullseye here, right? That's pretty much what you're wanting. I'm gonna wipe that finger clean. And I'm going to start building up my nest with the darker colors. I'm going to work dark to light. So the darkest colors are going to be kind of underneath, and you'll just barely see them. So I'm going to take that burnt umber on my fingertip and just run. And the nests are kind of crisscross in the center. So all of these fibers are kind of coming together and jamming together in the middle. But as you get around the edges, they kind of do more of a circular thing. Some of them are still going to kind of poke out at weird places. But for the most part, they're going to kind of do this sort of circular motion. So I'm going to try to replicate that with my brush strokes.
Okay, we got another question.
Yes. My brush strokes. My finger strokes.
Finger strokes. Beth would like to know if her makeup sponge wedges would work.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Definitely.
I would say just don't put them on your face afterwards.
Right.
Unless that's your kind of thing, then okay.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I definitely, I mean, I think even like Q-tips would work for this, you know. This is the kind of thing that I would definitely see you could do with some kids. They love getting into this kind of finger painting type stuff. So I'm getting very long things. What are you saying?
So just want to have a disclaimer here that the reference photo was done with a paintbrush.
Yes.
So we're not going to get that tiny.
No. No. Yeah, sorry. I didn't do an example of with the finger paint. And in fact, this is the first time I've tried it, so we're gonna hope for the best here. We've been fighting off some tendonitis in my elbow, so I haven't been doing any examples, and it's been interesting. Live shows with raw live. This is the real deal. Working it out as we go here. But in theory, this should work.
Yeah, it makes sense. It looks good on paper.
Hoping for the best here. All right, I'm going to grab some phthalo blue, mix a little bit of that burnt sienna with it, and grab just a little tiny bit of white. It's going to make a blue-gray color. I'm going to use that in the center to do some little crisscrosses. And I really need to be using my nails, I think. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. There, that paint's still wet, so I'm just kind of scraping through it. That's working. Just want to make some very faint lines in that center part where it's darkest. You'll see some little shadows of branches, but they're not going to be super detailed. And I'm going to go ahead and scrape through these outer ones too while it's still wet.
Now, can you do this with your toes? Or is it just exclusive to fingers?
I would not recommend toes, but, you know, whatever floats your boat, hon.
Okay, well, I might try to put the glove on my foot and come over and do that.
Okay. Can you imagine?
Oh, we're going to see it live.
Oh, no.
There's no
we're not.
imagining. What did you say?
No. Nobody needs to see that.
Got the glove right here. That's what happens when
No
you give me a
one
glove.
needs to see that. All right. I'm going to grab some on my fingertip here, and there we go. I just need to get it a little bit thicker on there. I'm kind of going a little bit light just to test it out, but I think I need to get a little bit more on my finger. Go ahead and just go for it here. And I'm working darker to light, so now I've got the raw sienna here. Putting that over the top. And I'm avoiding the center part with these lighter colors. So I'm just going to do these lighter colors along this outside and kind of filling in between some of the colors. So I'm making these gaps, sort of interwoven branches. So had the dark red here and a little bit of the burnt umber here, so I kind of went around it on either side, and that's what I'm going to continue to do as I add my colors, is just kind of look for little open spots where I can fit in a little bit of color. So good. Some of these we want to kind of poke out like they're frayed around the edges. So I'm going to grab some of that burnt umber and mix that with this color. What are you laughing at?
Oh, Dave said that the last Windows update killed his sound and he can't get it fixed, so maybe we can do sign language or something for him.
Dave?
Yeah, C5 Dave. One of our regulars.
Nice. Oh no.
I don't know sign language, but might stick my face under there, and if he can read lips, it might work out.
That's terrible. Ruin the sound on this computer? Right. No, that's not good. There should be closed captioning, but I don't know if it happens during the live shows. I don't think it does. I think it comes down afterwards. I'm running out of burnt umber here. Can put some more out. I think this is very therapeutic. I kind of like this. It's relaxing. All right, I think I'm going to switch fingers here and try to keep my
could you
fingers clean.
Repeat why you're wearing gloves?
Just because I don't want to get the chemicals from the paints soaked into my skin.
Okay.
So the barrier cream protects your skin from that too. I mean, there's a lot of debate about whether certain colors affect you. Technically, they should be fine to do, but I'd try to avoid skin to skin contact with my paints whenever possible. It's just
skin to paint.
Skin to paint. Yeah, skin to paint. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so I've taken off my right sock.
Longer. No, it's not happening. Stop.
Man, you're just hampering my artistic expression here.
Well, yeah. You get your own show.
Okay, Mark's foot painting channel will be going live here in the next week or so.
It ain't happening. All right, I'm going to use my finger now here and try to see if I can scrape in some smaller. Oh, that's working. Scrape some smaller lines through here. Now, the key is not to do too much at any one time, because you don't want to cover up all these other underlayers that you've got going on. So just got to be careful to kind of slowly build up your layers. And with my paintings, what I would do is dry these underlayers. So I would do this, and then I would dry it completely, and then I would glaze over the top with a darker color, and then repeat, so that it really built up a lot of depth. I don't think we're going to have time to do that tonight, but it's an option if you want to get it even more detailed. All right, this is the Naples Yellow. This is a really beautiful color. I used to use it all the time. I haven't used it in a while in any of my tutorials, but it's a beautiful color for these nests. It's a beautiful golden buttery yellow. So we're going to get that closest to the top here. These outer edges will be a little bit darker because they're kind of curving away from us. So our lightest area is going to be right here at the top of the middle here section. So I'm going to really focus on that. And I'm going to do some that are kind of crossing over in different directions so that they're not just all in a circular motion. that'll also give a little bit of realism. So every now and then I'm kind of change that direction and cross over in a interesting way. I really like the look of this. It's kind of very raw, very interesting. Using my fingernail here just to kind of scrape through, and there's no glossing. You can't use a brush here, so feel free. If this is not your thing and you really need a little more control, grab a brush by all means. Super chat. Nice.
Super chat brought to you by Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Still doesn't get foot painting. Oh, you know what? I'm blocking off the light there, I just noticed.
With that thing?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, move it.
Okay, now you can see it. Good job.
Thanks. Right, just adding a little bit of that darker color. Back in. And then I'm going to use what's kind of left on my brush in here and just kind of scrape in some little bit of medium color. Grab some of that. Grab some of that raw sienna and mix it with the burnt umber, so it's kind of that transition color between the dark and light areas. I'm going to use that a little bit right in there. Okay, I want to leave plenty of room for my eggs to go though.
So Dave's message is for all the good people you bring together.
Oh,
He has a good time in chat with all the people who are showing up.
Yes, we have the best folks, I have to say. We really do. I wish I could hang out with them, but I get to kind of chat in my Facebook group on Mondays when I do my little Facebook live chats.
Well, I can come over there and paint for a little while, and you can do chat and video and stuff.
I enjoy that, actually. Don't tempt me. All right, just adding a little bit more detail here. Kind of messing up that outer edge so that it's not so perfectly straight round.
So I'd like to say hi to everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening, coming out, watching some in-depth finger painting. If you're new to Angela's channel, again, we're glad that you're here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Saw 224 videos out there.
Wow.
For you to go through and look at.
Man. Yeah, if you want to check those out, you can click my name or my photo. It'll take you straight to my channel homepage, and you can see all of the other options for other videos that we've done. There's playlists of different themed videos. I'm going to grab a little bit of green, mix that with my teal. I'm going to use that to add some color. Just a couple places here in my nest. Like this bird has gone and picked up some strings. What was that? Animal Planet? The Planet
Planet Earth 2.
Planet Earth 2.
Yep.
That bird was, they were stealing each other's stuff. They were building these big bower, I think it was called bower birds.
I think so, yeah.
They were stealing each other's colorful stuff. And
Trash.
Trash, yeah, basically trash. It's hilarious. Love birds. All right, grabbing the Unbleached Titanium here, and I still had a little bit of green on my on my finger here.
Finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody suggested I do the voiceovers.
You probably need to.
Ornament. Finger.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't think I've laughed as much in one tutorial as I did in that one. That was the candle one, right? Yeah, candle one is from this Christmas. I kept calling Christmas ornaments something something less going to say. You have to go and check it out if you really want to know.
It rhymes with calls. Starts with the B.
I have no idea why I was calling them that. Did make for some funny video, though.
Because they're round.
All right. Oh, yeah. And I'm just scraping through here with my fingernail, creating some... This is called sgraffito. It's a thing, I promise. Mark laughs every time I say it, but it's true. It's a real thing.
Artists make up this weirdest things.
When you're scraping through from one color to another, yeah, that's what it's called.
Sgraffito?
Yep. Scratching through to see the undercolor. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of wipe what's left off. All right, I think I'm happy with that. We'll go ahead and work on the eggs, and then we can come back and mess with the nest a little bit more once it dries if we decide we need to. So I'm going to try to wipe those clean as much as I can get them. And I'm going to do blue eggs, but you could do white, you could do whatever color you wanted to on these. But I'm going to grab the phthalo blue, a little bit of the burnt sienna that makes that teal color, dark teal. Really pretty. I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. Kind of a gray blue. We'll use this as the base of our eggs, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3. So I'm going to do 1 here. And of course an egg shape is kind of like pointed on one end and a little bit fatter on the other end, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're sort of doing this. Like that. Okay, there's one. Let's do another one right here. And another one right here. I'm doing these for my boys. I've got 3 boys, 3 eggs. I thought it might be kind of fun if you wanted to let your kids do an egg for each one of their, if you wanted to get your kids involved, you could let them each do their own egg. Finger paint it. Might be kind of a fun family project. I'm all about collaborative art. I really love that. We always found things that I could do with my boys together as much as I could. Just much more fun. All right, so I'm trying to get them about the same size. This one's a little bit smaller, so it's not easy with your finger. And they want to kind of get out of shape, but that's pretty good, I think. All right, so let's grab some teal. And while that's wet, I'm just going to go ahead and pick a highlight side and just kind of rub that highlight in and blend it along kind of the upper edge of each of these eggs. So we're just going to pretend that like the light's coming from this side. So these are all going to get a highlight on that upper side. This one right here. And it worked best if the color underneath is still a little bit wet, but if it's dried already, what you can do is just kind of mix up a little bit more of this dark blue and come back in and blend back in the opposite direction to kind of blend them out. It's actually a lot easier to blend with your finger than with the brush, I find. I use my finger a lot in my paintings to kind of blend, so even when I'm using a brush, it's just easier to kind of feel and smush the paint around. There we go. Clean that off. Grab a little bit of brown, burnt umber. And I'm going to turn this over, use my fingernail, and try to get some of this burnt umber along that bottom, just along that bottom edge. Just really use my fingernail to get kind of a, there we go, nice dark section right along that bottom of the egg. So it almost kind of disappears into the background. See that?
So people want to know if they don't have blues, they can use other colors, right? Like
Oh
pinks.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Just pick a color and kind of use the, medium, light, and dark version of it. And you can use your brown that's your background color to kind of shadow it. So yeah, but yeah, you don't have to have, if you don't have these blues, you can use whatever colors you want. Whites would work as well. Okay, I'm going to use this black, brown, and actually I think I'm going to switch to my toothbrush at this point. Get some water here and splatter some, whoop, can't get it off there. Didn't get enough. I need a little bit more water.
Hashtag early splatter movement.
What? Hashtag what?
Early splatter movement.
Gotta splatter every time, right? There we go. Come on. I don't want to come off of my brush here today. I think it's the glove. Alright, I'm just going to use my finger. Just tapping in a little bit of speckling on my eggs here. There we go. Keep it random. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and work on my nest a little bit more. So I'll grab some of the phthalo blue and white. Put out way more color than I needed to. Wasn't sure how much this was going to take. And I think I want to use a little bit of this in my nest in just a couple of places. There we go.
So I know we have links to the brush guides down below.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really applicable for this specific one, but
No, sorry.
they still can go and get some brushes
Mm-hmm.
over there. The link, and
Yep.
there's a 5% off code for them to use also.
Yes, yes. And if you buy through our link on our store on Amazon, we get a percentage of that sale. It helps go to help support our channel. So,
And I'm thinking for the traceable, I'll just put my hand down on a piece of paper. We'll trace around
trace your
it.
hand.
Yeah, we'll put that up.
I like it. Okay, I'm gonna scrape up on my nail here and really just try to run some straight lines if I can get them. I went and kind of added a little bit of dark black section there. You just want to keep that depth. You got to have a little bit of that dark in there to kind of help create depth. All right, there we go. There we go. That's working. Kind of using that side edge of my finger there. Getting some better lines. So now let's do our highlight. I'm going to grab that white and I'm going to pick up a little bit of teal, and we'll start out with kind of a middle version. Tap that in. Okay, I've got too much other colors on here. I'm going to have to use my pinky. It's taking the color off of my glove. that teal. There we go. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm highlighting kind of right on that top section of the egg that's closer to the highlight side. So on each one of these, it's kind of this upper side right up here. It feels really weird using my pinky here. Okay, for the whitest part, I'm just going to barely touch down a little bit. Wipe that off and then just kind of blend around those edges a little bit to tap it in. Get too much, you can go back in with the darker color. Kind of tap back over those edges. Blend them in a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to get a really bright just on the tip. A little bit right on the tip, and I'm going to try to do a little dab on each one of these, like a really bright highlight. There, wipe my finger off and tap back through just a little bit. Just a little. Really want it nice and bright. That'll really make it pop out. See, having that really dark and then that really pop of bright. Go ahead and zoom back out. That's what makes it look dimensional. Ta-da! Alright, I'm happy with that. I'm going to maybe add a little bit more of this teal color in my nest. Mix in kind of a lighter teal. Okay, pretty. And I think I want to darken up the corners of my background here. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this raw sienna and mix that with the turquoise teal color. Kind of rub it. Just dust some darker color. Might even grab a little bit of that burnt umber. There we go. Just kind of darken up that edge to kind of antique it almost. And this is a little bit wet down, so it's got a little bit of that water from when I splattered with it, so it's going on a little bit better, kind of catching in the cracks. All right. And let's do, I'm going to grab this unbleached titanium here. Try to get kind of along the edge of my finger here. I'm going to try to do some very thin, if I can, thin lines, just a couple. What?
And Craig, who's joined us for the first time, said, "This painting is excellent."
Man after your own heart there.
Yep.
Puns. Excellent. I like it. All right.
And
I think
you've only done one other finger painting one, right?
Yeah.
The
only
flower?
one other, the flower one that I did. Yeah. So yeah, I like this. I think it turned out pretty cool. Surprisingly. For first try. I like it.
Now don't take off your glove.
Why? Oh, we got to do Stickman?
Stickman.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I don't know where he went to. Well,
That's all right.
okay, I found him. Okay,
Almost
well, we'll
had an
put a little bird
emergency.
nest in his tree. How about that? We'll put a little bird nest up in our heart tree at the top.
You better hurry up, fill it in.
I can't.
Doesn't look like a bird's nest right now.
There, you got
Okay,
it.
that's better. Okay.
Look like a big turd on the top of the tree. There we go. All right, Stickman is our mascot. Mark drew him, and I add to him every show just for fun, just to be silly.
To bring,
Remember not to
bring serious art to the show,
That's exactly right. All art is valid. That's the whole point.
except foot painting, apparently.
Have fun, except for foot painting. Yes, no foot painting. I don't know. I guess it could work, but not on this one. Oh, I forgot to have you do some. Did you want to get in here and do something, hon?
No, I took the glove off my foot, so I'm all right.
All right, I'm gonna sign it. I've got this is the Sakura Pigma pen. The link down in my Amazon store has it, and I sign my paintings with it. It works really well. It's permanent and light fast, and you can varnish right over it. So, anyhow, I hope you try this. It's kind of fun. I think I enjoyed it. Definitely pretty easy. So. Thanks for watching tonight, guys, and we will be back on Saturday with another tutorial for you, and hope you have a great week. We'll see you then. Bye.